Welcome to Showreel's fascinating world of science. Hit that subscribe button to stay connected. In today's video, we're diving into some of the most bizarre and weird scientific researches that you won't believe are real. So, grab a seat and get ready to have your mind blown. Let's jump right in. Number 30. Ever wondered if a full or empty beer bottle causes more harm in a bar fight? In 2009, researchers at the University of Bern answered this curious question. Led by Dr. Stefan Bolliger, they tested both full and empty bottles to see if they could fracture a human skull. Surprisingly, a full bottle strikes with 70% more energy than an empty one. However, both have enough force to break a skull. This unusual yet eye-opening research earned Dr. Bolliger and his team the Ig Nobel Prize in Peace, adding a touch of humor to their serious findings. Something to think about before your next toast. 29. In her hit song, Ironic, Alanis Morissette sings about life's strange twists. One she missed? A 2009 study revealed that ethics books are more likely to go missing from university libraries than other philosophy books. Professor Eric Schwitzgebel of UC Riverside found that these specialized ethics texts, used mostly by professors and advanced students, were 50% more likely to disappear. Odd, right? But Schwitzgebel argues this isn't a bad thing. He believes expecting ethicists to be moral models would put undue pressure on the field, reminding us that ethics is more about moral reflection than perfection. 28. Have you ever been so hungry you felt like you could eat anything? Even a shrew? While that sounds extreme, researchers aren't afraid to experiment. In 1995, anthropologists Brian Crandall and Peter Stahl from the State University of New York explored a unique question. What happens when a shrew is swallowed whole? After preparing the tiny mammal by skinning and parboiling it, they discovered that many of its small bones vanished during digestion, while others suffered notable damage. This intriguing research not only shed light on human and animal remains, but also inspired Crandall to become a science educator, encouraging future generations of curious minds. 27. In 2007, scientists discovered a surprising side effect of Viagra, curing jet lag in hamsters. In a lab, they simulated a 6-hour time zone shift and gave some hamsters a single dose of Viagra. The results were fascinating. Those hamsters adjusted to the new schedule 50% faster than those without the drug. Researchers speculated that this effect might one day help humans overcome jet lag, showing that Viagra could be more than just a treatment for erectile dysfunction. Fascinating, right? 26. Ever wondered how relationships find a balance between commitment and casual encounters? A 2009 study in the Journal of Sex Research explored this idea through the concept of booty calls. According to researchers from New Mexico State University, these arrangements could be a compromise between men's preference for short-term relationships and women's desire for long-term commitment. Dr. Peter K. Jonassen, the study's lead researcher, later expanded on these findings in follow-up studies, suggesting that booty calls might be more than just fleeting encounters. They represent a middle ground for both genders' ideal relationships. It's an interesting look at modern dating dynamics. 25. Did you know mosquitoes have a surprising taste for cheese? It turns out they're not just drawn to our breath. In 1996, scientist Bart Knowles discovered that Africa's deadliest malaria-spreading mosquito, Anopheles gambiae, loves the smell of human feet and even Limburger cheese. This stinky cheese closely mimics the scent of feet, making it a clever lure for mosquito traps. Knowles' research earned him an Ig Nobel Prize in 2006 for its quirkiness. Who knew cheese could be a secret weapon against mosquitoes? 24. When it comes to weighing lead and feathers, you'd think the answer is obvious. A pound is a pound, right? Well, not so fast. In a study by Illinois State University, researchers tested this idea by blindfolding 23 volunteers and asking them to compare the weight of a pound of lead to a pound of feathers. Although both weigh the same, participants often felt that the metal was heavier. The study suggests that how we perceive weight could depend on factors like the effort it takes to handle the object, not just the actual weight itself. 23. Did you know that the color of a pill can trick our minds into thinking it works better than it really does? Research shows that blue pills are often seen as calming, while red or orange ones are thought to boost energy. Yellow pills tend to be associated with improving mood, like antidepressants, and those with flashy colors or brand markings are perceived as even stronger. Even when it's just a placebo, the pill's color plays a big role in how we think it will affect us. It's amazing how suggestible our brains can be. 22. Did you know that despite their hunting instincts, cats are incredibly picky eaters? Pet food companies have struggled for years to find flavors cats will actually eat. In 2009, a Canadian professor came up with an unusual solution, using humans as cat food taste testers. That's right. People were hired to sample different cat food flavors, grading everything from the meat chunks to the gravy. It's a strange job, but it's helping improve what we feed our feline friends. 21. While cat food taster is unlikely to appear on anybody's dream job list, at least that profession is unencumbered by the daily risk of serious injury. Sword swallowing may seem like a daring act, but it's far more dangerous than it looks. A study by radiologist Brian Whitcomb and world champion sword swallower Dan Meyer uncovered just how dangerous it can be. After analyzing 46 members of the Sword Swallowers Association, they found that distractions or showy tricks increase the risk of serious injury. One performer even cut his throat when a misbehaving bird on his shoulder startled him. Their research, published in 2009, earned them the humorous Ig Nobel Prize, highlighting the unusual yet fascinating medical insights into this dangerous art. Number 20. Fleas are known for their incredible jumping skills, leaping over 100 times their body length. But between the dog flea and the cat flea, who jumps higher? Researchers from France decided to find out. In a 2000 study, they meticulously recorded the jumping abilities of both species. The result? The dog flea took the crown, jumping both higher and farther than the cat flea. This quirky research earned the team an Ig Nobel Prize in 2008 for its blend of humor and insight. 19. In 2003, a rather unusual study titled Pressures Produced When Penguins Poo shed light on a quirky question: how much pressure do penguins use to poop? Researchers Victor Benno-Meyer Rocho and Josef Gall calculated that penguins generate up to 60 kPa, kilopascal, of pressure to launch their waste. By measuring the thickness and distance of the poop, they uncovered the science behind this natural process. The study was sparked by a curious question from a shy Japanese student who asked Dr. Meyer Rocho how penguins manage to decorate their nests with such precision. 18. Lady Gaga sees herself as more than just a pop star. She views her work as art. Her third album, Art Pop, and her aim to merge art with pop music in a reverse Warholian expedition reflect this belief. But is she truly a pop art figure? In 2012, Cambridge student Amru Al-Qadi explored this question in his 10,000-word dissertation. After initial hesitation, the university approved the topic, supported by Gaga's music videos like Telephone, which showcased her postmodern style and cultural critique. This work examined Gaga's unique place in pop art history. 17. In a quirky 2002 study, researchers from Stockholm University set out to answer an unusual question: do chickens prefer beautiful humans? 6 chickens were trained to react to images of male and female faces, then tested on a range of faces with varying features. Interestingly, the chickens' preferences matched those of 14 human participants. The researchers suggested that human preferences for beauty may not be unique, but are tied to general nervous system functions, though it's possible that the human test group just had some unusual tastes. 16. We all have memories we'd rather forget, but can we really erase them? According to Courtney Miller, an assistant professor at the Scripps Research Institute, our memories shape who we are, though some can make life tough. In 2013, Miller's team explored whether drug-related memories could be erased without harming other ones. Their research, done on mice, showed it's possible by blocking the formation of a specific brain molecule. The hope is that this technique could one day help with harmful memories related to smoking or PTSD, offering a new approach to healing from difficult experiences. 15. Pigeons may seem like simple creatures, but did you know they can recognize fine art? In a 1995 study from Keio University in Japan, researchers trained pigeons to distinguish between paintings by Monet and Picasso. Amazingly, these birds could even identify new works by each artist that they hadn't seen before. While it's not about advanced artistic taste, the research suggests that pigeons can develop the ability to judge beauty, similar to humans. So, the next time you see a pigeon, remember, they might just appreciate a masterpiece. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button so you make sure to never miss our videos. 14. Did you know that bees can get high on cocaine too? In 2009, Professor Gene Robinson and his team studied how low doses of cocaine affect honeybee dance behavior. Usually, bees perform a special dance when they find food, but with cocaine, things get a bit wild. The bees danced faster, longer, and with more excitement, exaggerating how much food they had discovered. Much like humans overestimating their dancing skills, these bees thought their finds were much bigger than they actually were. A fascinating insight into the world of bees and the surprising effects of drugs. 13. You might think of fruit bats as harmless flying creatures, but researchers from China and the UK uncovered something unexpected about their mating habits. In a 2009 study, scientists observed that female short-nosed fruit bats were active participants during copulation, even performing oral sex. The research found that the longer this behavior lasted, the longer the bats mated. Without it, mating time significantly dropped. While this may sound odd, it highlights how nature often has surprising ways of ensuring survival. This unusual study gives us a peek into the complex and sometimes shocking world of wildlife. 12. The idea of unicorns has sparked curiosity for years. While the simple answer is no, philosophy student Rachel Patterson from King's College London took a deeper dive into the subject. Her paper, The Possibility of Unicorns, Kripke vs. Dummett, explores theories by philosophers Michael Dummett and Saul Kripke to see if there's more to the myth. While neither philosopher claims unicorns exist in reality, Dummett intriguingly suggests they might exist in another world, a fun yet thought-provoking exploration of the impossible. 11. Country music is a beloved genre in the US, enjoyed by people of all ages. However, its frequent themes of heartbreak and heavy drinking led researchers Stephen Stack and Jim Gundlach to explore its potential connection to suicide rates. In their 1992 study, The Effect of Country Music on Suicide, they found a surprising link between the amount of country music played on the radio and higher suicide rates among white populations in certain cities. While their findings sparked mixed reactions, ranging from hate mail to eventually winning the Ig Nobel Prize in 2004, their study remains a fascinating look into how music can potentially impact mental health. Number 10. Ever wonder if London cabbies have bigger brains? Well, their challenging test, known as the Knowledge, might explain it. To become a black cab driver, they must memorize 25,000 streets in London, a process that takes years of study. In 2000, neuroscientist Eleanor Maguire discovered that these drivers actually have larger hippocampi, the part of the brain responsible for memory and navigation. A follow-up study in 2011 confirmed that trained cabbies are amazing at recalling London streets, but less skilled with other visual tasks. Fascinating, right? Number 9. We all know wet underwear is uncomfortable, but science only gave us a clear answer in 1994. Researchers Martha Kold-Bakovig and Ruth Nielsen studied the impact of wet underwear on body temperature and comfort in cold conditions. Their findings, published in Ergonomics, revealed that wet underwear causes significant cooling and discomfort. Interestingly, they also discovered that the thickness of the underwear has a bigger effect on warmth than the material. So, next time you're in the cold, remember, dry and thick underwear makes all the difference. Number 8. Lawnmowers might seem harmless, but they've caused thousands of injuries over the years. A study from the 1980s showed that these machines were responsible for around 70,000 injuries each year, with about 3,300 affecting the eyes. The situation worsened in the 90s, when 230,000 people were hospitalized annually due to mower-related injuries, and 75 tragic deaths occurred, many involving children. Thankfully, recent data from 2018 suggests the trend is improving, with about 85,000 injuries per year, mostly to hands and fingers. Safety measures and awareness are helping, but caution is still key when mowing. Number 7. Are intimate relationships with robots a far-fetched fantasy, or could they soon become a reality? Daniel Levy, a British international master of chess and author of a groundbreaking paper, believes it's closer than we think. With a PhD that weaves together sociology, psychology, and robotics, Levy predicts that by 2050, love and even marriage between humans and robots will be inevitable. While not everyone may choose a robotic partner, as roboticist Ronald Arkin from Georgia Tech suggests, there's a growing number of individuals who are already embracing relationships with advanced technology, including sex toys. Number 6. We all remember the cringeworthy moment from Ben Stiller's character in 1998's There's Something About Mary, where a zipper mishap leads to pure chaos. Sadly, this fictional nightmare can become a painful reality for many men. A 2005 study by Dr. Satish Chandra Mishra from Charakpalika Hospital in New Delhi explored ways to address this awkward situation. His findings revealed that typical interventions often drag on or even worsen the issue. Instead, Mishra proposed a quick, straightforward, and non-traumatic solution using wire cutters and pliers, though calling it painless might be a bit optimistic. In 1996, Mara Sidoli studied a unique link between fear and bodily functions. She shared the story of Peter in her research, a boy with a difficult past, who used an unusual method to handle his extreme anxiety, farting to make himself feel safer. Sidoli called this a defensive olfactive container. Peter's way of coping was so interesting that Sidoli earned an Ig Nobel Prize in Literature in 1998 for her work, which combined science with a memorable story. Number 4. You'd think that with all the pounding they do, woodpeckers would suffer from constant headaches, right? Much like how we imagine dragons never get sore throats, it seems reasonable to assume woodpeckers don't have to deal with headaches. But let's not rely on assumptions when we've got fascinating science to explain the truth. Back in 2002, an eye specialist, Dr. Ivan Schwab from the University of California, published a study in the British Journal of Ophthalmology that dove into how these birds avoid brain injuries despite hammering away at trees up to 12,000 times a day. Turns out, woodpeckers have evolved some incredible physical traits: a broad yet cushioned skull, strong jaw muscles, and a relatively small brain, which might explain a few things. All these adaptations help them avoid damage to their brain and eyes while they go about their business, pecking away at a dizzying speed of 20 taps per second. Number 3. In 2017, London's sewers revealed something shocking. Made up of cooking grease, diapers, and other waste that shouldn't have been flushed. It quickly became infamous, capturing global attention as one of the grossest discoveries ever. However, science stepped in to transform this nightmare into something useful. After breaking it into chunks, scientists found that the fats and oils could be turned into biodiesel, a cleaner form of fuel. Thames Water announced plans to convert the Fatberg, producing enough biodiesel to power 350 London buses for an entire day. Talk about turning waste into energy. Number 2. In a fascinating 1986 study, doctors David B. Bush and James R. Starling looked into 2 patients who had inserted objects into their rectum. They also reviewed 182 cases of people who had done the same, examining details like age, medical history, and the types of objects involved. Some of the more shocking discoveries included a dull knife, which caused knife-like pain, and a convict who hid a toolbox inside himself with tools for escaping. Their unusual research earned an Ig Nobel Prize in 1995, showing how bizarre medical cases can sometimes turn into curious studies. Number 1. In 2007, researchers from the University of New Mexico studied whether women still experience estrus, a phase of heightened fertility and attraction seen in many animals. They enlisted 18 lap dancers who tracked their menstrual cycles, work shifts, and tip earnings over a 60-day period. The findings revealed that dancers earned significantly more tips during their most fertile days. This study provided the first economic evidence that a woman's natural cycle might still influence behavior and outcomes, suggesting that estrus may play a role in modern human interactions. That's all for today. Subscribe to our channel for more fun videos.